Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Game Music for All Live. Don't worry, you'll see me in just a moment. I'm still getting things in order here. Alright, so this is Game Music for All Live, Game Music Remix Radio. Welcome to the Game Music for All Live episode for October 24th, 2019. I am your host, Gino Boost, here to show off the finest wares that my humble game music shop has to offer. All the latest game music remixes and indie game soundtracks and anything else musical and related to video games in some way, all available here for the next hour. The first track we heard today was by Jeremy Harris Jones, Tom Miller from Eidolon, music from Final Fantasy IX. That compilation comes to us courtesy of Materia Collective. We heard the track Run. And in the background right now for today's episode, in honor of that Halloween spirit, we're going to be hearing Akira Yamaoka's soundtrack from one of my favorite games from the PS3 360 era. We're talking about Shadows of the Damned, starring Garcia fucking Hotspur. That's a quality game, and it's a quality game soundtrack. We're hearing Hanging in There. We'll be hearing plenty more from that soundtrack as I talk over it. The soundtrack's like 10 years old. Go listen to it on YouTube after the show. Alright, first up, I'd like to give shout outs to my Patreon subscribers, Sam, Nicholas, and the Grammar Club. Thank you so much for supporting the show monetarily as you do. Anyone else who wants to subscribe to Patreon, you could find links right here. Patreon.com/GinoBoost. Of course, watch the show on Twitch, YouTube, or Mixer. And you can always hit me up, make song requests, or tell me about albums you love. Or if you're an artist, tell me about your albums. Hit me up on Twitter at GinoBoost or on Instagram at GameMusicForAll. And as I said, if you're a musician or artist, send in your video game inspired albums to me. Just head over to gamemusicforall.com/submit album, or just get in touch on Twitter at GinoBoost or the email address here. Just screen cap this so you've got all the info you need. Alright, so next up we're going to be hearing the Red Strings Club main theme by quite a few musicians here. I actually have to pull up the song info. August Rios, McPherson Sound, Horito, Denzel, Rodri Rios, and Mini Moog, all combined for this theme here. Alright, welcome back. You just heard a block of great indie games there. But now we're back on that Akira Yamaoka Shadows of the Dam soundtrack. During the break, you heard wonderful soundtracks, beginning with Eunyo Kim, his contribution to the Vambrace Cold Soul original soundtrack, Gur Chugga Gur. Not only is it a good track, I just really like saying it. Before that, we heard Mark Bennis, his 2018 soundtrack to Lamplight City. Heard the track Burning Desires. And before that one, we heard a cover of an indie game theme, the Red Strings Club main theme by, hold on, gotta pull up the song info, by Agus Rios, McPherson Sound, Horito, Denzel, Rodri Rios, and Mini Moog. Thank you to all of them for that quality track. Behind me now, we're hearing An Ordinary Life. Another great track off of this fantastic game of the PS3 era. I was actually looking into it recently, and even though I really liked the game, apparently it was nowhere near the kind of game Suda51 and crew wanted to actually make. They had had some interesting mechanics there, and I really hope EA could care less about the brand, because EA published the game, so I don't know how much control Suda51 has over Shadows of the Damned at the current moment. But anyway, going with EA to make the game was a terrible idea, apparently. Yeah, clearly. But for what it is a big compromise of a game. It's still fantastic. Lots of great dialogue, some fun gameplay. It's basically Resident Evil 4 plus No More Heroes, but clunky. Oh. Alright. Oh, I got a list of topics here that we gotta go over. That's what this part of the show is for. Alright. So, some of the games we covered today, Lamplight City. That game looks pretty cool. You can find that one on Steam, I believe. Shadows of the Damned. I have to wonder what game Suda would have wanted to make and how it would have come out. Would there have been more RPG mechanics? Would have been more like No More Heroes and that one about the assassin on the moon? I can't remember what it's called right now. Because, I mean, the game was pretty great, even if it wasn't what he envisioned. And I probably would have loved what he envisioned if it starred like the same characters and such. We also got some Final Fantasy IX music coming up later. I really liked Final Fantasy IX, but like most RPGs, I didn't get very far because I'm lazy and I take my time. And then the next thing I know, I'm playing another game. So I only got to, I think, Disc 2 in Final Fantasy IX. I should probably finish it. I started it like 10 years ago now. Probably time to go back. But then you always get that thing where, like, I don't remember how to play and I don't remember where I am or what's going on. So why don't I just start over? And then you decide to start over, but then of course if you start over, you're never going to get back to where you were before because your heart just isn't in it the same way. There's nothing like getting a brand new game and then trying to defeat it immediately. I mean, once that time has passed, especially as an adult, you're probably not going to beat that game. Just give up. Throw it on the pile of your backlog and just pretend you never bought it or spent the money on it. That's kind of depressing. Oh, in the background, as you can tell, my song choices today are from are because it is October and it is the Halloween season. So I've tried to go through the latest album sent my way and find the creepiest tracks possible. That's why you're hearing some quality stuff from Mark Bennis and music from games that have sad titles like Cold Soul and Lamplight City. Oh, hello T-Bird. Thanks for the shout out. Oh yeah, I just started making those videos. Hopefully they'll get better with time. So each week, I should probably talk about that a little. Each week, I have to gather a little bit of game footage for the like 30 minutes of music or so that I'm gonna play on this week's show. So I've been just, gathering it, and why not, like, I do put in some effort, and hopefully as I gather more footage, because I don't have a ton of time to like play through all Final Fantasy IX for that Final Fantasy IX footage, especially if it's a song specific to a certain area of the game that shows up in a cutscene in Disc 3. It's going to take a while, but slowly I'm going to get there, because every time I have to play a Final Fantasy IX song on the show, I'm going to have to play a little Final Fantasy IX to get a little bit of footage. So we'll get there. We'll get all the footage someday. Right, what else is on my list of topics? Oh, this is something I really wanted to talk about. There's a game coming out for the Nintendo Switch called Rush Rally 3, made by one guy who just really likes rally games. Now, I haven't played a rally game since Top Gear Rally 2 on the N64, but I really liked Top Gear Rally 2, which I guess was like the first rally game I ever played. Even though there's Top Gear Rally, which is like my favorite racing game, but it's not really a rally game. Well, it sort of is a rally game, but only because the computer is so bad and non-existent. People calling me. And at the worst possible time. Okay. Stay focused. Good thing this is the test episode and I'm not gonna be recording this, or I mean posting this anywhere else other than Twitch and such. Thanks to anyone tuning into the show. I'm your host Geno Boost. I should mention that. You could see links to things that exist that I do right here. A few more topics to run over, but I still want to talk about Rush Rally 3 because this game looks legit. Like, there's none, zero good racing games on the Nintendo Switch. At least none that look good enough. Oh my gosh. Sorry. That wasn't so bad, right? It's a nice coffee break there because I had to run and answer the door. Alright, I gotta reorient myself. I want to talk about Rush Rally 3, but now I feel that the time has passed. Mario Kart Tour I want to talk about, but only because I'm sick of it. It's basically... Okay, so let's talk about Mario Kart Tour. It's basically a drift... Well, because I set mine instead of steer, I use the drifting mechanics. And so it's basically just drifting the game, but with a slot machine in it. But not just a regular slot machine. It's a little more complex than that. So imagine there's one slot machine over here. And if you win at that slot machine, say that slot machine, you win the jackpot, so it gives you like a special coin, and you can take that special coin to another slot machine, and if that slot machine also wins, then you win. So it's like you have to win twice, and to win the first slot machine, you have to pay money for that slot machine. And if that slot machine pays out, not in real money, because it's not a real slot machine, it's just digital items, then you can take your hard-earned money that might give you something useful. You can take that useful thing, which is either a character or whatever that comes out of that pipe, but it's a slot machine. If the slot machine pays out, you could take your winnings from that slot machine, which is your character that you got from the pipe. Then you go over to the other slot machine, which is the stage, and then you hope that the stage pays out twice in one stage. That's the only way to get a high score. And it was not fun. It was addictive. Oh, it was addictive. But like in retrospect, I did not actually have any real fun. Well, no, I did in competition with other friends who were playing at the time, but that competition and the bad payouts on the slot machine was not enough to hold my interest. I want a real racing game. A racing game where you have to press like 4 buttons to make a turn. Like, what I really want is for a port of Driver San Francisco to the Nintendo Switch. Ubisoft, make it happen. I mean Ubisoft. Rulers of the Universe. Alright, so we got some more music for you here now, finally. Coming up, we've got Threed, One Day for Sure, featuring Martial Art, Eric WK, his 2019 album, Motherfucking Earthbound. Then we'll be hearing some more indie game soundtracks, courtesy of Jeff Ball and Adam Gubman, so stay tuned for that. Welcome back. I'm your host, Gino Boost here, bumping all of these creepy tracks for you. Right now, we just heard from Jeff Ball, his album Time Spinner. You can find over on his Bandcamp page. Came out last year. We heard Masquerade of Hedonists. Shout outs to T-Bird77 for subscribing over on YouTube. I usually do these shows every Saturday and Wednesday, but I'm falling behind. This should be Saturday's episode. I'm doing it on Thursday. I'm going to do Wednesday's episode tomorrow. But we're going to catch up. We're going to do it. Anyway, before we heard from Jeff Ball, we heard Threed, One Day for Sure, with Martial Art by Eric WK from his album Motherfucking Earthbound. You could download for free over on Eric WK's Bandcamp page. You can't get a physical album no more, though. You're out of luck. Also, just wanted to mention, I'm your host, Gino Boost, from GameMusicForAll.com, and you are listening to Game Music for All Live. There's the image for it. For more game music content, make sure to check out the website, GameMusicForAll.com, where I can talk about all of the latest video game music albums that people send my way. You get them as soon as I learn about them, try to post about them. And of course, you can support and subscribe to the show over on Patreon, patreon.com/GinoBoost. Support the show monetarily. Of course, shout outs to my current Patreon subscribers, Sam, Nicholas, and the Grammar Club, for helping support the show and keep things moving along. If you want to support the show as well, make sure you subscribe and you'll be privy to all kinds of exclusive content and such, like articles I write and a couple videos I do to update people on what I'm working on. Behind me right now, we're hearing G Drive, Motorcycle Theme, one of the hardest tracks on the Shadows of the Damned album. We've still got one more block of music for you, featuring two more fantastic and haunting indie game soundtracks. If you want creepy music, these indie game soundtracks have got it in spades. Real moody, intense, emotional type music. Oh, I had a few more topics to go over as well. The number one topic, Conan debuts Death Stranding, talking about Akira Yamaoka and his, him in the Silent Hill games, and then the spiritual successor to Silent Hill games, maybe. Or is it a spiritual successor to Metal Gear? Or did he just mash them up because that's what people want? So that's what, anyway, Akira Yamaoka, I'm not sure if he's working on this game, probably. But Hideo Kojima invited Conan O'Brien over to check out Death Stranding. And Conan O'Brien was in Death Stranding, maybe. It could have been a joke, but I really hope Conan O'Brien is in the game. I mean, Guillermo del Toro is in the game. That is fantastic. This Guillermo del Toro, my second favorite Latino game character is now Guillermo del Toro. Number one is, of course, Shadows of the Damned, Garcia Hotspur. Of course, that changes everything. Alright, so once again, thanks for checking out the show, and make sure you check out the Game Music for All website. GameMusicForAll.com is a website where you can find a lot of the best and latest game music tributes and game-inspired albums. Every genre, from chiptunes to hip-hop, EDM, metal, folk, jazz, glitch, and so much more. All of it created by incredible artists with a huge love for video games. Incredible indie game soundtracks and game-inspired original albums help round out what I cover. And I bring it to you and try to cover it all to the best of my ability. So make sure you check out GameMusicForAll.com for game music podcasts, shows like this one, articles, news, and more. So now, let's get into the final block of music here. We're going to be hearing Adam Gubman, another one from the Elsinore original game soundtrack that just released this year. We're going to hear the track To Me, It's a Prison. Welcome back. Still here. Still bumping those Halloween tunes for you. Right now we're hearing Happy Trails, another one by Akira Yamaoka from Shadows of the Damned. Reflections by Scott Wells and Drew Ederle from the Chrono Ghost original soundtrack. That's that haunting music you just heard. And before that, we heard To Me, It's a Prison by Adam Gubman from Elsinore, original game soundtrack. Man, I am loving all these indie game soundtracks folks are sending my way. And if you are the composer for an indie game soundtrack, or for anything related to video games, whether you're just making remixes, or you're creating whole albums of remixes, or you're organizing entire soundtracks of remixes, like the Pixel Mixers folk and the fine people over at Materia Collective. Any of that, you gotta send it my way. You can see all the handy options on your screen now about how to contact me and tell me about that incredible new music album you've got coming up. This is the final block. We're going to be getting into the finale. I'll be playing, to end the show, I'll be playing Theme of Paula from the Shadows of the Damned soundtrack. So, got to include at least one Shadows of the Damned track where I don't talk all over it. Once again, you've been listening to Game Music for All Live, Game Music Remix Radio. Every Wednesday and Saturday, showcasing the latest game music and more. Make sure you check out the archives over on GameMusicForAll.com. Subscribe to the show stream on YouTube, Twitch, or Mixer. So of course, just add the /GameMusicForAll. And of course, hit me up anytime on Twitter, Instagram, @GenoBoost, or @GameMusicForAll. And final shoutouts to my Patreon subscribers, Nicholas Broman and... Oh, I'm turning everything on. Nicholas Broman, Sam, and the Grammar Club. Fantastic supporters who've been helping me out for a while now. And if you want to become a Patreon subscriber yourself, you can do that via the link on your screen now. Alright. It's the final song. Thanks again for tuning into the show. I will have a full official show tomorrow with more music from all these great artists, and I will see you then.
Your heart plays with my head, clever torture. What it is, never clear, not fair. Some will win, some will